grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. And truly, we are blessed, right? We have to feel it,
Yes.
know it, and in order to experience it. So,
Yeah.
yes. Good morning, Mike. Hi.
Good morning. Good
How are
morning, Reverend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Good, good. It's good to see you. I
Thank
love
you.
I love that you are here, present, available, open, and blessed today.
Very
So
good.
we give our service.
Oh, yes, we will. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome. And thank you for joining us in the spirit of perfect harmony. We are the Center for Spiritual Living, West Georgia. We study and practice the science and philosophy of the mind we know is God. And with our spiritual presence here this morning in our participation, we create a higher state of consciousness, rise above any negative energy that may have prevailed this past week, and manifest love. Our master teacher, Reverend Dr. Sandra Jackson, will proceed with our service at this time. Reverend?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome. So this is our last Sunday of October. Could you believe it? It's like, oh my goodness. And fall is well underway. I noticed, I don't know about your neighborhood, but I'm starting to see some leaves in the yard. And this morning we have a guest speaker. Um, and so I'm just going to start the service with our opening treatment, and then I'm going to turn it over to Cynthia, who's going to introduce him, and then he's going to do the rest of the service. I will see you back at the end, okay? All right.
Right.
Let us just turn within right now. Take a moment to close our eyes, pause, and just feel the blessing that we are. Because you see, blessing, we think that it comes from the outside, but it doesn't really. It comes from within. It comes from within as we know who and what we are, as we know the spirit of life that we are. And it is that blessing, that grace that comes from within us, that is the spirit of life itself. And so, right here and right now, we recognize, realize, and know that the spirit of life is living, moving, and breathing in us, through us, and as us this day. We are open, available, and receptive to it as we turn our attention to it and allow it to fully and completely express itself in our lives. We are open this morning to this morning's message and to the messenger. We are knowing that he is blessed by God because he would not be here with us unless he were. And so we allow ourselves to be fully and completely open and available and receptive as we know that the spirit within us is accepting, hearing, believing, and living the spirit that is being expressed through John this morning. And so it is with deep gratitude and thanksgiving that we begin today's service, that we begin our life anew in this moment and know that all is well. And so it is. Amen. Okay. Cynthia.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm so excited to have my friend John Stringer with us here today. John's a spiritual teacher, a speaker, a singer songwriter, a former Billboard charting artist, a healer, an author, and he has a passion for music and community that is just unsurpassed. And it's always a joy to be with him. And we're so blessed to have him here today. I've been in songwriting workshops with him and at music festivals, and he always brings the most incredible, loving spirit. And I'm going to turn it over to John. I do encourage you to visit his website. He has a lot going on, a lot of local events that you can attend. He's always teaching something fabulous. So thank you, John. We look forward to hearing you.
Thank you. And quick question, funny enough, I would love to hear you all's mission statement if that's okay before I start. Is that possible? Excellent. So I'd love to hear that real quick.
Good morning. So here is our vision statement. CSL West Georgia is a joyful global community where everyone belongs. Through our unique spiritual teachings, we provide a safe environment to experience compassionate living. And our declaration of principles: I believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. There is one life of which I am a part, one intelligence which I use, one substance which takes form as my life.
Perfect. And thank you. That is beautiful. And that informs me of what song I'm sharing first. So that I can feel that. And I think this is quite an appropriate song to begin with for your mission, but also to welcome all of those who are watching, and just to, let's just say, set the intention of what we want to provide today. There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me and you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love and welcome to peace. Welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here, and you are welcome here. See when new eyes allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. And breathe in and out. Slowly feel all that's around you, and all that you feel, and all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, yeah, when we unite. Oh, oh, oh. you say I am welcome. You look at somebody, say you are welcome. Say love is welcome here. We are welcome here. Awesome. I couldn't hear you, but I could feel you and see you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to dive right in this morning. I want to start with the reading of something I received. Every morning I do a meditation, gratitude practice, and then I also ask what is it that I am ready to know or to remember. And I listen to spirit and I just type it out. I'm going to share with you what I got in July, something that has been a part of this journey for me and what I'll be sharing. So I'm just going to read this. The teachings I share come from what I receive when I align with Source, God, Spirit. And I'm excited to share the latest insights regarding business. The inspiration I share below is regarding a new business model and came during a recent morning meditation and inquiry session. I'd love to know what this brings up for you. The quote is, or starts with, in reality, the business world is no different than life itself. We have just bought into the illusion that it is somehow a lack model and you have to go and gain a share of a limited pie. So, the more who align and raise their frequency, the more we all benefit. What if a business model was set up the same? The more we all raise our frequency, raise our value, the more we all benefit. The reality is that is how life really works in business too. We try to think of it as competition often, but that is divisive thinking, egoic in nature, etc. Small, limited thinking. In reality, the business world is no different than life itself. We have just bought into the illusion that it is somehow a lack model, and you have to go and gain a share of a limited pie. You actually create the market and add to the market, but the old paradigm would have you think differently in terms of lack. However, there is an ever expanding market in any business for those willing to see it that way. Creativity is what allows that to be the case. That does not mean some people will not switch services between companies that offer the same services. However, the ones that are the most creative not only gain customers, they also create new ones. There is indeed plenty for everyone, and those who need to or resonate most with the frequency of a particular company will be drawn there. If a company is creative enough, its expression of uniqueness will allow it to be a true original and allow it to attract those that resonate with it best. In some cases, you'll have people attracted to multiple versions of a service, such as music, multiple platforms offering streaming, for example, and some people are customers of several. This is the same with any business. The same can happen. Letting go of the competition model is important because it keeps you from giving in to the idea that we are not all winning together. The reality is, divisiveness only serves to create suffering, fear, and lack, whereas inclusiveness, unity, etc., creates a new world with a new business model to help all succeed. Now, I ask the question, how does this apply to me? Or what is the lesson in application for me? Simply this: keep your mind away from the competitive models and thinking in terms of lack. Instead, think in terms of creativity, originality, and what you are here to bring as a company, as a service provider, and you will shine, helping all like you shine. Yes, and so it is. Now, I share that with you as if this were a business meeting of spiritual, like minded people. And in reality, it is because all of us are already involved in what we call an economy. And in reality, it is a sacred economy. Our exchanging of ideas, of goods, and all of these things have always been sacred. We've just bought into this illusion and been conditioned to look at it in a very limited way, and thus we create limited experiences that follow that line of thinking. Today, what I'm sharing with you is what I've been receiving, and I'm still on this wonderful journey just like the rest of you. So think of this as just a share. I'm letting spirit share through me. If you like it and resonate, great. If you don't, let it pass by. Take what you like, leave the rest. So on my journey, after I received that download, the very next day, I had a brother come to me and invite me to a wonderful experience that he began to describe. And I'm listening from the lower level of consciousness and like, wow, that checks this box, and this box of sacred economy, of the download I got about frequency and value and all of this. So then I decided to listen to Spirit. Spirit, is this for me? Is this something to guide me on? And every time I do this and follow through, I always receive expansion, a blessing, or some valuable lesson that was perfect for me. So I've learned to trust that over the years and receive to go ahead and move forward. So I moved forward and it's been a blessing. It's been quite a journey in shifting my mindset into adopting not only two. I'm gonna say there's 8 things, but that might overwhelm you. So I'm gonna say there's 2 sets of things I've adopted recently, and one of them you may already be familiar with. When it comes to how I am viewing and using money, my wife and I, for a long time, have been committed to tithing, to really get into the spirit of giving. And we think of it like breathing. We're already putting the money out. We've shifted our consciousness to how we pay for utilities. Instead of feeling like it's some obligation, we're grateful to give that money to have this wonderful service, to eat the wonderful food we eat for our groceries, and all these ways we give the money. We've shifted that relationship when we budget twice a month, for example. So our relationship with money has shifted to where when we tithe, we give this 10% to the places that feed our soul. Like you'll have the opportunity today, or whatever percentage, or whatever you give, that tithing, that donating, that gifting is a powerful way to activate the circulation with money in that relationship. And Spirit told us to take 10% and give to ourselves to as discretionary, taking 10%, giving it to ourselves. That was new for us. Some of you may be familiar with that. Some of you may already do that. But for us, that really expanded. So we were literally taking 20% and just giving of all of our income and committed to that. We've been doing this for a while now. I can tell you for the last, since 2015, I left a marketing director position, most money I'd ever made in my life, and my income dropped to a quarter. Spirit told me to leave. The very day Spirit told me to leave, I resigned. It was very unexpected. And my income dropped to 25% of what we were making, a quarter of it. The next year, it doubled. The next year went up. By the 4th year, I was making what I made when I left just by listening to Spirit and working for the divine intelligence. So my employer is the higher self, the I am, right? And the I am led me on, kept promoting me each year financially. And then the 5th year, last year, we were making more than when I had a director's position. We've got better medical that's cheaper. We've got, I mean, it's just a blessing. It's unfathomable. I would have not have known. And even in a pandemic now, we're seeing our finances uh, do things that I would never have dreamed. Now, does that mean, hey, look at me, I'm blessed, I'm doing well? I'm not saying it because of that. I'm saying when we're listening to Spirit, sometimes our path is to prosper, but not to ignore what's happening to others. In the midst of my prospering, I'm not listening to Spirit and thinking, hey, lucky me, too bad for them. I'm thinking, what am I to do with this? What is the lesson here? What is my gift? Because I'm being blessed. What can I bring to the table? And what I'm hearing is assisting others in shifting the relationship. The reality is nothing separates us from our good, period. Not a pandemic, not institutionalized racism, not anything. Nothing separates us from our good. We are not victims, and we have the power to go within and find a power that transcends all of this externalities, all of this temporal shifting stuff. And when we access that power and begin to listen, the blessings flow. Does that mean we're going to be financially blessed? If that's in your soul's blueprint, yes. It may be in your soul's blueprint not to be a millionaire. And you may be chasing the wrong blueprint and going against the natural flow of how you're designed. But what can tell you that is listening to spirit. Spirit may tell you you are to be a millionaire and you are here, and that is part of your soul's blueprint. The funny thing is, we see it in nature. You don't see a squirrel trying to be an eagle, right? It knows its soul's blueprint and it listens to that innate essence. We've just been conditioned to look at other places and not listen to that innate essence, that God given design, to get out of tune and be conditioned to think we're supposed to be this, that, or the other. But spirit assists us and leads us when we tap into that navigational system or that master teacher within each of us that teaches all things. Now, what I've learned is some people say stay in your lane. What I've learned is to ask for what's my lane. Ask spirit, what's my lane? My lane is not to be a mathematical, have a mathematics degree like I thought when I first went to college. That's not my lane. My lane is actually doing what I'm doing now because spirit told me to, or genius, whatever you call it. The higher self, God, I am. That's what told me this is what you are to do. I listened, I asked, I learned how to tap in. Many of you may be cultivating your practices to do the same. So back to the giving. What spirit kept leading me to was first committing in steps to giving to others a certain way, then to begin to give to ourselves. We committed, we saw our finances increase. We begin to see the flow. I listened and I began to raise my frequency, begin to ask what do I need to know and get all the lessons from forgiveness to gratitude to disciplining my mind so that I could focus and distinguish between the lower level consciousness and accessing, expanding my awareness into the higher level consciousness of genius that we all have access to. Begin to do that more and more consistently. Begin to focus on staying in this aligned state from moment to moment, alignment with the source of who we are, so that I could access that expanded state of awareness and I could navigate, begin to learn the lessons of the energy that comes up, seeing the blocks that I had created through this limited condition thinking and letting those go, depending on the source energy and the grace to shift and dissolve these things, begin to recognize that power, just led on a beautiful journey. And then it brought me back to not only my faith and how I saw religion, politics, and all of that, expanding my view on that to see the perfection and the oneness in it all, and to let go of the judgment and separation consciousness. Now I see it as this beautiful tapestry that all works together for our good. But then Spirit led me to beginning to see money in a different way. There are infinite ways we can choose to have a relationship with money, as many as people as exist, right? And we get to create our experiences with it. And what I've seen is when we align and tap into that higher level of consciousness and let that genius guide us, we begin to not only understand that we are the value, that we are the value. We are the stability we are looking for. We are the value we are looking for. We are the source of all the good we've been looking for. We are the source of every good experience we want to create and experience. Like internally, we are that. But it also began to help me see that I could release the isolation or independent way of navigating it and transition from that to community. So a transition, these are actually principles of sacred economics, by the way. So transitioning from isolation to community, begin to show me that I could let go of the scarcity mentality, as you saw in that reading, and transition from scarcity to abundance on every level: time, money, energy, etc. It began to show me that I could transition from this consumer behavior, this programmed, limited, conditioned way of being, of just consuming. It's like trying to just inhale. This compulsion to acquire, to transition from that to contribution. And it began to show me that I could, in fact, not only participate in exchange, but I could move from transactional consciousness, where what's the return on this if I do this and that, to trust. What if I just do this and let go of any expectation? What if I just give unconditionally without an expectation of a return, knowing that the source has got my back? What if I'm like Jesus, just trust that every hair is accounted for, every bird is fed, and that my needs will be met? Does that mean I'm just going to go out and start spending my money willy-nilly? Well, Spirit hadn't really told me to do it that way. I'm listening to Spirit. Spirit has me doing a budget twice a month. But not trust, but to realize that I am entrusted and am being called to be a steward of these finances, and to listen for where to give, what is mine to do, where am I to be a blessing, to take this abundance and use it in that way. Now, how do we activate abundance? We are the abundance. We already have it. It's, do we focus on it? Do we let our energy go there? The quality of our experience, this is the law of choices, by the way, something to download and received and was blown away by. The quality of our experiences is informed by the quality of our thoughts. That's the law of choices. What thoughts, what's the quality of the thoughts you're choosing? That will inform the quality of your experience. So, my experience with money, what is the quality of the thoughts I'm choosing? Am I still caught up in the condition of lack thinking? The condition of I am separate from my good, and that money represents my good, my value, my station in life, my blessing, even my favor, my favor from the divine. Like if I don't have money, then I am not highly favored. That's an old way of thinking. Nothing wrong with it, but it determines the quality of your experience. Without money, you're going to feel and create the experience that you are not highly favored. You are not valued. You are not blessed. Something is wrong. All is not well. When we begin to align with Source, it brings us back to the sacred, that all is yours. Money is a construct. Money is a creation and a tool that is not right or wrong, but is in fact neutral, just like the wood outside that fell from a tree. You can go and carve yourself a new tool with it. You can go and smash somebody in the head with it. You can go and choose to do whatever you wish with it. But it is not the source of meaning. You are. And in fact, it is meaningless until you project the meaning upon it. What meaning it has, you give it. That's why the meaning is relative. That piece of stick to one man is a treasure because of what he can create. It's garbage to someone else. So as we align with the source of who we are, it all comes back to listening to Spirit and allowing that to bring us to these cosmic connections that already exist. These cosmic connections with what we have created already, if it is true that there is only oneness here, then the creator of everything is the one, all creation. And it is all for us if oneness really is indeed the nature of life. It cannot be any other way. So either there is oneness or there is duality and separation from our good. If there is indeed oneness, then everything is created by us and for us, the one. And in fact, everything is an illusion created for us, just like art, just like movies, just like entertainment, etc., etc. So let's take that further. As we align, experience that oneness, we begin to shift and let go of the limited levels of conditioned thinking that believe in separation, believe the material is the real, and we realize the essence is the root of this cosmic connection. And the way we build our bridges is by listening to what is ours to do. We are a creation of the oneness. We are created for us. You know how we say everything is for us? We are for us. So we begin to listen to what is mine to do for us. We raise our frequency and our consciousness for us. We move from isolation to community for us. We move from transaction to trust for us. We raise our frequency and our value for us. It's always been this way. We're just uncovering the conditioned limited thinking we've sold into that was also for us. Even that, the suffering was for us to teach us the contrast so we could know, oh, this feels like that, and learn and graduate, move to the next level of expansion and experience. So it's all for us. But it is, I will not deny that when we are distracted, it can be overwhelming. It can be overwhelming to the point where we feel like we can't take it, we can't do it. We feel like we can't get through it and we don't understand. I've been there. Recently broke my ankle, for those who didn't know. In June, broke my ankle. Most pain of that. I'd broken a wrist before boxing. This time I went skateboarding with my son. I was listening to Spirit, don't worry. I was aligned. I asked Spirit, should I do this before I even went, and got a yes. I didn't even want to go that day. Ask Spirit. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Oftentimes we think our soul's blueprint is going to look like this. No, Spirit knows what we need. And it's going to give us the perfect lessons, even if we don't want it that way when we surrender. Or we get, we get them anyway sometimes, even when we don't surrender. But the quality of the experience is different when we surrender. So I surrendered, I listened, I broke my ankle. I went through the most pain I'd ever experienced. It was overwhelming. I remember multiple times where I had to wait and the medicine wasn't doing anything. That first day after the break, they told me 8 hours between the medicine, right? Took that medicine, all of a sudden the stuff was wearing off. I had to wait 8 more hours. I cried, I prayed, I meditated, I chanted, sent the family out the house so I could get as loud as I needed, in tears, moaning, asking the divine, show me your power, show yourself mighty, show yourself strong. I was calling everything I could think of, like every power I could, and I finally hit this space for a 30-minute period where the pain was all still there and I transcended it and I accessed it. It wasn't the first time I'd experienced that peace that surpasses understanding, that transcendental, like, what is this? Like, I've experienced it many times and I'm grateful for that. But this lesson showed me something overwhelming I was able to transcend. I didn't change it. I didn't make it disappear. I just accessed the power within that allowed me to transcend the pain. Even though the pain was still there, let me rephrase that. Transcend the suffering. Suffering is optional. And I got to prove it through the most overwhelming experience. But it didn't overwhelm me when I tapped into the power. So, what was the difference? I was creating the quality of my thoughts and the conditioning, sometimes that's so subconscious and rooted within us, we have to call and dig deep within that power within us to access that which expands our awareness and allows us to bring through our higher levels of consciousness, the mind of God, of Source. We are extensions of Source, in part, the parts we play, and in whole. Do I understand that? No. That's just how I hear it. We are extensions of Source in part and in whole. Whatever that means, that's what we've come to be, and we get to access it. How is it that you are all of the universe? How is it that you are all consciousness? Well, at this level of thinking, at this level of experience, I don't know. But at the higher level, I know when I access this knowing that this is the illusion. This is just what we've been sold, conditioned, and have bought into. And there is a way to let go. So back to the final lesson for me was realizing that not only is that alignment and that oneness, that perfection and that power that I'm able to access when I'm in meditation, when I'm in aligned states going through my day, not only is that evident in my personal experience and practice when it comes to things I call the spiritual nature, but also to things of the carnal nature, money, food, politics, religion. There is no place where God is not. So all we're doing is seeing the cosmic connection that already is when we do our work and start to let go of this judgment, this separation that has been deluding us from seeing the sacred abundance that's already here, the sacred economy that already exists, and we get to choose. So I'm going to close with a song. The invitation that I have for you is whatever works for you, whatever practices you're using, in this time where there's so much energy going around, there's so many things you can be distracted for. Things are amplified, but it has created a portal for us all to amplify the quality of our experience. So if we're giving into despair, lack, separation, it amplifies that feeling. You can see it out there. This is the time. It's like a portal has been opened for you to jump either direction to amplify suffering or to amplify expansion, abundance, alignment, the whole nine. The time is now. It's always been time, but we're just seeing it turned up to 11, as they say. So the invitation is to step into your power through your practices, really committing to doing it for us. Not just your own individuated path, which is the most important from your perspective, but recognizing that that is equally connected to all of our paths. And that as your light shines, what the world needs most is your example of limitless love and light. For you to step into your power, for you to align and hear what's yours to do and bring it to the world. You are not an accident. You are not any less important or more important than any one of us you've ever seen. You are equally important. This gonna be the day that changes everything. The day that it all aligns. And this gonna be the time we'll remember all the love we've got inside. Together as one, facing the darkness, take a stand for love. We're gonna let it shine, alright. You've got the love, you've got the light, let it shine. You and I, oh no, we're gonna let it shine. Hey, let's light it up the night, let it shine. You and I, we're gonna let it shine. let it shine. Hey. This gonna be the moment when joy comes shining through in love. Yes, it overcomes the night. Whoa, and this could be the instant when fear disappears and all we see is the light. Together as one, facing the darkness, take a stand for love. We're gonna let it shine, alright. You've got the love, you've got the light, let it shine. You and I, oh no, no, gonna let it shine, oh yeah. Let's light it up the night, let it shine. You and I, we're gonna let it shine, let the world know that there's more to give when we open up our hearts and set them free. 'Cause we're letting go of the dark stories we believed, and we realize there's more to you and me. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna let it shine, alright. Let's light up the night, let it shine. You and I, oh no, no, we're gonna let it shine, yeah. You've got the love, you've got the light, let it shine. You and I, we're gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. We're gonna let it shine. Oh no, 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 let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. We're gonna let it shine, yeah. Thank you, thank you. So I leave you with this. I didn't get to the second set because of time, but it was divine. It's for us, so we can all do what we need to do today. But the second set, I'll just briefly say, is that old ancient Toltec wisdom, the 4 agreements. That was the other 4 things I didn't touch on, but check them out for yourself if you're not familiar with them. I've also been committing to those and seeing the ways I've been out of alignment with that wonderful wisdom and bringing that back as well. So before we move on, I just want to do a blessing, and then we'll move on to an affirmation for giving. We're recognizing our sacred economy. We're recognizing the gifts that we have, and we're listening to Spirit in this moment, affirming that we are here to provide energy, currency, to support the wonderful work of this community, giving back in gratitude and trust. I am complete, so it is.
Thank you, John. That just, you know, is great to be able to listen sometimes. And when you listen, you actually get served too. So I thank you very much. I can't speak for anyone else but myself, but I have been blessed today. I have been served today. I cannot even tell you all that has happened. So if the rest of you, somebody asked if this was being recorded. Yes, it's being recorded. And I am going to go listen the rest, I'm going on to YouTube and listen to this again. I hope that you will too. Okay. All right. This was worth listening to more than once, because you're absolutely right. We're living in a time when, everything is open and we have the choice. We can look to what is not there, or we can look to what is there, and we can, be available. And that is what our spiritual community is for, people. That is why you come to church every Sunday, because what happens during the week is we get pulled down, right? And you come on Sunday and be a part of the community to get lifted up. Okay. And then you do your work in the middle of the week to maintain your own sense of upness. Okay, and gratitude and Thanksgiving, and the Toltec is the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, for in case you aren't familiar with that. So Marcia, thank you so much, John. Marcia, it's your turn.
Well, wow. I am also complete. Thank you. I needed this. Thank you, John. Thank you so much. Well, I get the pleasure of sharing with everyone how to support our community. Um, there are three ways that you can support our community. If you'd like to donate electronically, you may go to PayPal. I did just post all of this information in the chat window, and all of the information is also found in our newsletters. You can go to PayPal and choose to give that way. If you feel more comfortable mailing a check, the mailing address is right there on the window, and it's also in the chat, also in our newsletters. I also like to share that if you are an Amazon shopper, Amazon has a charitable program. It's called Amazon Smile. And the link that I put in the chat window, if you click on it, right now, and just link up with Amazon Smile, it will connect with us. It's easier to go through our link than it is to search for us for some strange reason. But then whenever you go to smile.amazon.com, anything that you purchase, the dollar amount, Amazon will then take a portion of that amount and send it to our ministry. So, and then also I did put in the chat window the link to our YouTube account. So if you go to that YouTube address, all of these, all the Facebook live streams are being archived there as well. So you can share from that point. And so our affirmation that we always do, I am grateful for the divine givingness circulating abundantly through my life, our community, and our world. And so it is.
Okay. Thank you, Marcia. Oh, geez. Okay, so I mentioned YouTube. I just want to remind you that we have a YouTube channel. Go to it and subscribe to it, okay, so that it gets more and more visibility. And then, during the week, you can listen to our talks, on your way to work in the morning, or while you're getting dressed, just put on a YouTube, and listen. Even if you don't listen to the whole thing, you will, like John said, you will get what it is for you to get that day. Let us start making a regular practice of being part of, if you're not, I'm not saying that you're not. Okay. I'm just, this is a day for remembering and reminding, okay? Because we need that periodically to be remembered, be reminded. And I will remind you, if you have not received your email yet or have not opened it, we have membership meeting next Sunday, November 1st, new month, yay. Okay, and so please do plan to come to service and then to stay after. Membership meetings last, to an hour and a half. It might take a little less time given that we're on Zoom, but it'll start at 12:30 and we'll schedule, an hour and a half. We'll tell you what's been happening during this last year and give you some idea of where we're going forward. We'll welcome some new members and think about joining the board, because we have one board member who we staggered the term. So one board member has a 1-year term, and that term will be exiting this year. And so we'll need a new board member for that position. Plus, we are short two board members. So think about that too. Anyway, I love you all, and I really appreciate you all being here today. Let us acknowledge John once again and say, Cynthia, you were absolutely right. She kept saying all week, you're gonna love John, you're gonna love John. She was right. We do love you. All right, so let's see, am I missing anything, Marcia? Anybody? That's it. Anyway, so thank you so much again, John. Thank you everybody for being here. For those of you who we haven't seen in a while, looking through the list, there's a few that we haven't seen in a while. Thank you so much for being here today. And please do, everyone, have a great week. Enjoy your life, and let us have our closing affirmation. You forgot about that, huh? Yeah, we have a closing affirmation. Usually we have a video, but not today.
One second.
Okay.
Jeez.
All right.
There you go. Come on. All right.
Have a great week, everybody.
Here we go. Oh, no, not that. I am grateful for the divine giving is circulating abundantly through my life, our community, and our world. And I am also grateful for technology working correctly. And so it is.
And that's our
So
blessing,
it is.
our offering. That's the offering blessing. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Oh, well, there you go.
Having a great day. See, this is what happens when you're in divine order. You know, stuff happens and it just happens the way it happens. Okay.
Yeah, that was a perfect bless. I'm like, wow, that's great.
Okay, let's close with that. Okay. All right. Thank you all so much for being here. Love you, bless you, and have a great week. All right. Thank you.
Yes, I had to find one of John's other songs. So we can listen on the outro.
I wanna say thank you for the way you gently open my eyes. No matter what I do, your love is always coming through. When I look in any situation and I say yes, I say yes, I say yes to your love. Oh yes, I say yes. Father, I say yes. I say yes to your love. Oh yes, you created me fearlessly and wonderfully to be your instrument. Use me, I surrender in this moment. Let me be your eyes, let me be your hands, let me be your voice. I'll give you everything I can, and I say yes. Father, I say yes. Surrender, I say yes. I'll give up everything that keeps me from knowing you, knowing the truth. Oh, I say yes. Surrender, I say yes. I body be a vessel. Let my soul be your temple. Yes, yes. Take my hands, do what you will, and take my voice, do what you will, and take my all, do what you will. Let your love flow through me. Hey, and take my hands, everything I am. Take my voice, everything I have, and take my being, my everything, my everything that you give me. I know you know the plans to prosper me, to give me hope in the future. And I say yes, I surrender, I say yes.
Say yes. Say yes to life. Say yes to love. And have a great week. Love you all. See you next week.